We are back. We are live. We are the All Sports Matters podcast. We took a break last week just because we had to get ready for free agency, wrap our heads around it. So we took a little break last weekend. Is all good because we're smack dab in the middle of March Madness. Mid-March, March 15th. The conference tournaments are going on. Sunday is Selection Sunday. We are just 4 days removed from the NFL free agency. The playoffs are around the corner for the NBA. By the time we do the show next week, there'll be 2 games played for Major League Baseball, who starts in South Korea. I'm telling you, it's a great time for sports and hockey. But let's not forget the NHL. We gave them a little love last 2 weeks ago. But of course, I don't do it alone. I am a facilitator, as I like to call myself, Amir Shiraz, but I am not alone. All my brothers are in the house. Some of them had tested the free agent markets. That's why one is in Tennessee, and I'm going to bring them home. Talk to me about being in Nash Vegas, as they say.
Well, this is my city, man. I love it here, man. Here taking care of a little business this week and next. Free agency, man. I'm
crazy,
ground
fast,
zero.
Fast It was fast
ground
and crazy.
Zero for my Titans, baby.
It was fast and crazy, but hey,
yeah.
I think one person who is excited about free agency is the chef himself. Got the king of Alabama.
He got a good one.
And we'll discuss it when we bring everybody along. But I'm pretty sure you are excited about that, sir.
Do you hear me?
I can barely hear you. Just a little bit louder. No, I don't blame you.
Okay.
I don't blame you one bit.
A little closer. Yes, I'm very excited. I needed this in my life.
You got a good one, sir. You got a good one.
And I thank you. Tennessee, I appreciate you.
We're trying to get everybody on board online, make sure we are all on the same page. So we're doing the tagging everyone. We're doing the tag the highlight. Facebook likes to tag everybody when you type in highlight. I'm still a little bit old school. Hey, we might have to go back to MySpace when they shut down TikTok here in a little bit. So I don't really know what's going on. Speaking of shutting down, the shutdown of Niners, who's losing more players than the Dallas Cowboys at this point. No, JB, how they out there in Santa Clara?
Hey, they making big moves. They had the most cap space right now, so let's see if they go make something happen. I know they're trying to extend my guy Brandon Ayuk, and no, Big Chef, Debo is not up for grabs. So tell your people to stop calling my people.
Hey, they've been blowing up that phone.
Can you blame
before we get into the free agency? Before we get to free agency, one big news that came out this morning. The great Aaron Donald has called it quits. We know he's been trying to shut it down these last few seasons, but they keep enticing him one more. And he finally said, nope, I am done. The great Aaron Donald, well, we all agree, first ballot Hall of Famer?
First ballot. And quarterbacks everywhere are rejoicing.
Especially Russell Wilson, because, 15% of his career sack total is just Russell Wilson. So just want to throw that out there. I know he's tired of being hit by that man out in L.A.
I think Geno Smith will gladly say, thank you, God, he's gone.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, too. Kyler Murray was like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, he was a what's it called? A gift. A GIF.
A menace.
The menace.
He was a menace.
Well, hey, either way, every team was busy except for that team out in Dallas who deciding. But you made a specific point there, JB, when you said your team may not have done much, but they are making cap space to sign their players. Do we believe the same thing is happening in Dallas? The same reason? Keep in mind, they got to re-sign Dak. They got to re-sign CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. Obviously, those are the top 3. But we'll give them the 15 seconds of fame. Is Dallas going about it the right way, or are they just falling behind? What's going on, Tito?
I mean, they trying to do something. They did snatch your boy from that originally said he was going to sign with San Francisco, but which we all kind of figured he was going to follow Zimmer over to Dallas. But
he's going to sign a 4-year contract. Only signed a 1-year contract with Dallas. That was kind of weird to me.
yeah, that was kind of strange. But you know, he followed the person that he knew and went to the system that he knew already. So you know that's what it is. And you know, Dallas need to recoup because your boy turning Washington into Dallas East. He bringing all his Walmart luggage with him. So
Dan Quinn, which we kind of figured, right? That's what we're gonna do out there for the Washington football team, right?
oh yeah.
Talk to me, Fleck. What signing stood out to you?
Period, or my team?
Signing. No, this period.
Oh, for me, it was the one that kicked it off. Russ going to Pittsburgh. You know, all the reports was coming out that that Pittsburgh was happy with Kenny Pickett, which today we found out how happy they were. They sent him across Pennsylvania to Philly to back up Jalen Hurts. What you laughing at, Jim?
I'm laughing at somebody asking Amir how he feeling about his boy going to the Eagles.
We'll get there in a minute. Okay.
You see, he got his green and white on.
He do got his green on. He do have his green on.
He's following.
It is St. Patrick's Day weekend. So
you keep telling yourself that, sir.
But is Pittsburgh doing? Do you see them adding to that quarterback room?
Oh, they're going to have to. Russell Wilson is literally the only one under contract with them right now. That's the only quarterback they have. Mason Rudolph signed in Tennessee. Trubisky went back to Buffalo. They kicked Kenny Pickett out the house. They're going to have to sign somebody. I said in our group chat today, hey, there's a certain quarterback in Chicago that they're trying to kick out. Russ is only there for a year.
Right.
Trade for Justin Fields, pick up his 5th-year option, give him a year to sit behind Russ, let him play that 5th-year option, see what you got there. If that's good, sign him long term. You got your quarterback of the future. If not, you were going in the draft anyway because you only got Russ for a year. So you're gonna have to
I had to make sure I was looking at the comments to make sure that was actually one of my kids texting because I don't know who they was calling daddy, and I just make sure that was mine. So we don't need no surprises. We are live. Look, 4 days in. Well, let's not break it down quite yet. Let's Big Rock, the floor is yours. Talk to me about what is going on in Baltimore.
We're trying to put something together right now. We got some gaps we need to fill, but one major gap we filled it. Oh man, we filled that gap. I needed it. I wanted it. We got King Henry in the building wearing black and purple.
I thought you were talking about Hollywood.
Key yourself.
We do not advocate.
We do not condone.
That behavior. Excuse my language. Sorry, he threw me off for a second. Anywho, I don't know what a dog on Hollywood is. Anywho, like I said before, we got what we needed to get. We cleared out some excess baggage. Also, we got a linebacker we got to bring in and some secondary help we need. But we started off the right way. We're gonna put it together. We re-signed our defensive tackle that we did not want to let go anywhere, which I appreciate.
Marmaluke.
I was about to say I can't say his name.
Marmaduke?
No, I'm not gonna.
It's Matabuke.
Matabuke.
But I'm glad we secured him because he was a nightmare last year, and he was an anchor on that front line. So I think we're gonna be all right. We got a nice, healthy offense coming back. We're gonna probably dive back in the pool or go in the draft and try to get us a nice wide receiver to bring in, probably to complement what we have already. Bateman played decent last year. I got to give him his props. He was able to stay on the field for about 13, 14 games without pulling up limp. And so yeah, I like it. We'll see what else we got coming out the bag. I like where we started though.
Y'all don't want to throw 3 years and $69.2 million at OBJ?
Who? I don't know who that is. Who is that?
let's start behind the center. Right, we're gonna break down free agency 2024. How big is Kirk Cousins going to these young Atlanta Falcons?
I said when that happened, as long as he comes back healthy, that Atlanta offense is going to be nice. You got, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Jarrett. You signed a Daryl Mooney, and you got Rondale Moore for your namesake. Guess who's the Zach? So that offense is going to have a lot of speed. It's going that offense, as long as Kirk Cousins comes back healthy, that offense is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because their offensive line was already a good offensive line. They already had a good offensive line.
Right. The biggest
positive defense.
Right. And the biggest positive coming out of what's happening in Atlanta right now is they have a completely different person calling the offensive plays who's gonna put folks in a position to win.
Yes, Lord.
So are they favorites to win that South?
No, I think Tampa Bay is still the favorite to win the South.
Anyway. No, that South is wide open anyway. Outside Carolina, I wouldn't be surprised if Saints, Tampa, or Atlanta wins that division.
Well, like Amir always says, the champion is gonna be the champion until they dethrone. And right now, I feel like the Bucks are still the favorites to take home the NFC South right now on paper, because they pretty much the same team. They haven't really lost a whole lot.
They lost a lot on defense.
They lost on defense.
They lost a lot on defense.
Yeah. They did.
They traded Carlton Davis. They Devin White went to
Devin White is who they gonna really miss.
A lot on that defense. That defense is not the same.
It's not, but was the defense the one keeping them in games, or was the offense the ones who was plugging away?
But you got a competent quarterback in Atlanta now, so you got competition there, and that team has the offensive talent to make some noise.
As long as he playing at 12 o'clock, he competent.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Atlanta in prime time.
You get later in the day, he might start losing stuff.
I don't think Atlanta been in prime time since the Super Bowl.
One thing I will say about Atlanta is they're making all the right moves right now, and it looks like they're going to try to go into the pool and draft defense. And if they do what they're talking about and bring in that high engine monster out of Alabama, Dallas Turner, that'll be a nice addition to that defense that they need. They have a nice secondary, but they need a lot of help in the front.
Amir, you got a child. Let's go be a Falcons fan this year. Let's just point that out.
Well,
move on.
She lives in the ATL. I'm actually surprised she hasn't jumped on that bandwagon out there. So
tell her I'm looking at her.
I'm not against it. I'm not against anything Atlanta wise, but yeah, a lot of people are jumping off the bandwagon. Saquon going to Philadelphia. That started a Twitter war. And even went into the media where people are scrutinizing Tiki Barber for his comments.
Tiki Barber sounds like an old hater.
He need to go sit
seriously. He sounds like an old hater.
He's been a clown.
He definitely need to go sit down somewhere. He wasn't even the best twin. He wasn't even the better twin. Go sit down.
That's a true statement. I mean, say the truth.
Well, look, he gave up the year before.
Yep.
Yeah.
The year before, and then they won the Super Bowl.
He was like, Eli Manning's not gonna do nothing without me, and Eli promptly went and won the Super Bowl without him.
Yeah.
Yep. What's going on, Mr.
Without him,
look, Philadelphia. Let's talk about Philadelphia. They made moves on both sides of the ball. They added defense. They added offense. Obviously, is Barkley an upgrade from Swift?
Yes.
That offense.
Yes,
he is. And that offense. Well, we don't know what's happening in that center, but that offensive line is a monster. Even though that people talk about the holding calls and the non-holding calls or the tackle jumping off sides or false start all the time. Either way, that offensive line is still a great offensive line. We gonna see what happens at the center, but Saquon Barkley is gonna be behind a good offensive line for the first time in a while. and you go see what he do, and you got a quarterback that you have to keep eyes on. So that RPO that they go have out there is about to be
Not
crazy.
even that. He's in an offense where he's not going to be the focal point.
Right.
You got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley can't do anything but make that offense better.
I'll go right back to you, Fleck. You mentioned AJ Brown. Is he going to be even more upset knowing that there's another star taking away his ball?
Nah, he'll fall in line. He'll fall in line.
I think
he's going
to be more happy now.
I'm still
confused. That was because they were losing. He got that. You see, he didn't get upset until they started losing, and he wasn't getting the ball.
Right.
So as long as they're winning, I mean, he'll be all right.
That makes sense. But
so the running backs have made the most noise so far in this free agent for the week.
Honestly, I think he'll be able to free himself up a lot more now in that offense, because now you have to respect Saquon catching the ball out of the backfield.
Right.
So you're going to have to play one-on-one defense, and that offense is going to become a nightmare this year.
Right. And Amir, to get to the point that you was moving to with the running backs, it's a complete night and day turn from last year, because last year, the running backs wasn't getting no love, and this year, first day of free agency, you got running backs signing all over the place. You got Austin.
Well, they didn't get love because all of them got tagged last year.
Yeah,
right.
Well, not many of them got paid the way.
And that's the point. Like,
right,
exactly.
Barkley's the only one that got money out of the ordinary, outside of the usual. Think about it. After Barkley, we're talking about Henry got $10 million a year.
Right.
Pollard, Smith, all these guys got $4 million, $5 million. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't getting what they was trying to get last year. So
Pollard actually took a per year pay cut from the tag, because he got paid 12 on the tag last year, and now he's making $8 million per year. Jacobs, Barkley, and Henry are the only ones that I think hit double digits per year.
Yeah, Jacobs got 10. They all got 10, I do believe.
So I'm gonna go down the line. I'm gonna go down the line of running backs with your new squads, and you tell me which one will make the most noise in 2024. We got Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay. We already talked about Barkley in Philly. DeAndre Swift went to Chicago. Tony Pollard, Tennessee. Devin Singletary, the Giants. Henry, Baltimore. Antonio Gibson, quietly, but he went to New England. We really didn't mention much about that one. Austin Eckler got an extension with the Commanders. Zach Moss went to Cincinnati. I think that's a low-key great move.
Joe Mixon got traded to Houston.
Joe Mixon to the Texans.
Yep. Joe Mixon, Texas. Aaron Jones went to the Minnesota Vikings. Gus Edwards is now the starting running back to the Chargers. Let's see how long he lasts out there with no help. So we'll pencil in Josh Kelly as a starter there with the Chargers.
It's happening week 3.
That's pretty much it. So talk to me, gentlemen. Which one stands out to you? Which one will make the most noise for 2024?
I think it's got to be King Henry in Baltimore and Saquon in Philly. I mean, I think those are I think those will end up being the two most impactful. As far as I think that they're the only ones that are actually going to be on contenders.
You can't count out Josh Jacobs.
Super Bowl contenders. I mean Super Bowl contenders. I'm not talking about can make the playoffs.
I think
Super Bowl.
Real briefly, I asked this question. I'll throw it right back out to you guys. Can Derrick Henry survive that Baltimore Ravens running back curse that's been happening for all these years?
Well, one thing about King Henry, it's not the same as before with King Henry. When he did get hurt, he was the focal point, and he didn't have that RPO type offense running. Now you're really not going to be able to key on King Henry like when he was in Tennessee, because if you key on him too much, then you got to worry about Lamar taking off, and if Lamar take off, you got another issue now. You got to try to run that thing down, and he is a monster in the open field.
And this is the thing. In Tennessee, you knew it was Derrick Henry running it.
You knew it.
You can't automatically assume it's Derrick Henry running it in Baltimore.
Because if
he's not going to take as many hits because Lamar's going to get his.
Yeah, and he's going to pass to Mark Andrews. He's going to pass to Zay Flowers. He's going to look at Bateman when he has to. And if Aguilar is there, Aguilar is still a threat when it gets close to the end zone. So it's not the same. And I think, if anything, it's going to prolong his legs. It's going to make it to where King Henry will have, fresher legs at the end of the year, because he's not going to have to do what he's had to do at Tennessee.
I just want to add that Josh Kelly is not under contract with the Chargers. He is a free agent. Also not under contract with the Chargers anymore is Keenan Allen. It's Mike Williams. It's Eckler, who left. Obviously, we already knew that one. What is
Gerald
going
Everett.
on? What is
Gerald
going on?
Everett.
Gerald Everett.
He's in Chicago too.
Yeah, that one ain't really gonna be missed too much.
But that was their starting tight end.
Yeah.
No, that's going to be. It's all going to be missed. That's his security blanket.
Well,
Jim Harbaugh,
Harbaugh is ready to get rid of Bosa and
Khalil
Mack. They didn't restructure.
I'm with Mr. O'Brien on that one.
Harbaugh said he wanted
What
to.
is going on out in L.A.?
He got that prime time in him. He wants to bring his own luggage, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
He want to bring people
He's
in.
blown away right now. I don't know what he's doing.
I have no clue what they're doing as far as like who's your quarterback throwing to?
Right.
Quentin Johnston is now your number one receiver in
he barely shut up last year.
And he barely,
exactly. My point exactly.
Stretched the field.
So what are they doing?
He go draft some of his receivers from Michigan.
There's only one that's in the draft. That's Roman Wilson, I think his name is.
I'm gonna throw this out there. If I am a GM, I am calling the Chargers to see if Herbert's available, since everybody else is gone.
I mean,
they're not. Nah, I don't think they're going.
Yeah, you can't say that. But if he wants to talk,
I don't think they're going that far. What I can see happening now. Oh, go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I think he's the reason why Harbaugh actually wanted to go to the Chargers.
Exactly.
I think it's Herbert.
Yeah.
But what I can see happening is, Minnesota traded today to get another first round pick. So now they have number 11 and number 23. They're drafting at number 5, Mr. O'Brien. I can see either the Cardinals or the Chargers trading back with Minnesota. Picking up those two first and maybe another 1 or 2 next year, so that Minnesota can come up and get J.J. McCarthy in front of the Giants, who's also been linked to McCarthy, which I don't understand the hype. I don't understand the hype. I'll say that. I don't understand the hype. But that's what's being reported. No, I don't see that one happening.
I'm not understanding the hype of J.J. McCarthy, but he might be top 3. And
I don't understand it, but I think that's why Minnesota traded to get another first. So now they got 11 and 23. If you're Arizona, you have to listen. If you're the Chargers, you have to listen. I think they're trying to jump in front of the Giants. I don't even think the Giants want McCarthy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see why they would want him. They got Drew Lock. They got Daniel Manning. Go get them a receiver. Go get them a receiver, and even if that's not even if Daniel Jones or Drew Lock is not your guy, McCarthy, I don't see the hype in McCarthy.
It could be one of those things where the Giants or somebody with the Giants put out some false information to try to get them to trade up, and if they can't find a trade partner to jump in front of the Giants, then they'll find a trade partner in the Giants to move up right there and let the Giants try to finagle their way into having two draft picks right there. I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I'm just saying, is as a possibility as I can see it.
I don't know that top 10 is going to be intriguing to see who falls where, how many quarterbacks get taken, which wide receiver goes first, because it seems like Harrison is falling down the list and Malik Neighbors and Udonze is moving up the list. So I'm not understanding that. We're not here to talk the draft right now. We're still in free agency, but we are talking wide receivers. Let's go down the line. We haven't had really much wide receiver movement other than that big trade we had last night. Keenan Allen going from the Chargers to the Bears.
Bears.
Now, I texted you guys, and this is pretty much the same conversation we've had. week in and week out. What do the Bears do at one? Now they got all these weapons all of a sudden. Do they keep Fields, and
They almost
play
the same.
one more year and trade out of that first?
I think they're doing that to get Caleb Williams as many weapons as possible. And if I'm Fields, I'm looking at the Bears like y'all some
You know what?
big things.
Training day.
I ain't got nothing, and y'all sitting there giving whoever you plan to be their number one all this weaponry.
Exactly.
All this weaponry.
It's immediately. You son of a. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like, but I think it's there's no market for Fields right now.
And it's weird.
Everybody that needed a quarterback went out and picked up either a bridge gap quarterback or whatever you want to call it. Like where outside of, like I said, the scenario with Pittsburgh, I really don't see. Unless injuries happen, we know that. Maybe that's what the Bears are waiting on.
Joe Flacco got another job before Justin Fields knew what was going on with his career. Joe Flacco.
Am I the only one that believes Fields can be or is better than Caleb Williams, the unknown, the immature unknown?
I like Fields. I think Fields, I'm sure we're on the same wavelength with this, because of the last few offensive coordinators and front officers who didn't believe in him and didn't get him the help he needed. Yes, I think you're right. I think I would rather keep Fields in Chicago, get multiple first round picks, trade back, and continue to build and get more team security for us. But I am with you. I think Justin Fields in that offense with those type of weapons would make Chicago extremely terrifying.
Right.
I think what's turning a lot of teams off is the fact that he hasn't, and it could be because of the the coordinators or whatever. He hasn't really progressed much as a passer, and I think that's I can't even say the coach's name, the Chicago coach. I know his name, but I can't say it.
Eberflus.
His job is on the line, and do you take another shot in the dark of Fields all of a sudden getting it together as a passer, or do you take what many are saying is a generational passer in Caleb Williams?
But that's the thing. I hear what they're saying, but they have been known to miss the mark. I don't know how many times when they're sitting there talking about generational talent. And I'm just like, at this point, I'd rather have a bird in the hand than a handful of dang on magic jelly beans trying to figure out if I got a winner or not.
Exactly. And how long is his Fields been in the league? What, 3 years?
This will be his fourth.
4 years.
This will be his fourth. Yes, he played 3 years.
And coming into this year, he'll be on his fourth coordinator, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Chicago's been a whirlwind of coaches in and out, and
right.
It's like they did Baker Mayfield.
He was productive this year.
He's shown flashes where he can be productive and he can do things, but you're not really giving him a full chance because you changing coordinators every year. And if you don't have a coordinator and you don't have that stability, then what can you do? And then who's the quarterback coach out there in Chicago? Because he has a great deal to do in progressing Fields too. So if you don't have a good quarterback coach, or if your quarterback coach changing out as much as the offensive coordinator is, you trying to learn all these different things. You need to get back to basics.
Kerry Joseph is the Bears' new quarterback coach. Joseph
what he just said.
Years old and 8 years of coaching experience.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would keep Fields, trade down, get 2 firsts and a second for that first pick. And if it doesn't work this year with all those weapons, then obviously the coach is on the hot seat anyway. So even if they draft Caleb Williams and they go 7-10, the coach is gone regardless. So
yeah, but as a
to Caleb Williams that they're doing to Justin Fields.
As a potential coach, would you rather have Caleb Williams in his second year or Justin Fields making $40-50 million a year on a new contract? And he really hasn't shown you much.
Well, this is my other question. Are we talking about Justin Fields staying on the same trajectory he's on, or Justin Fields turns it around this year and has an explosion year and possibly continues that
well, if they go 7-10, then if in the scenario that Amir just brought up, if they go 7-10, is he having that type of year?
Let's look at the whole picture really quick before we move on. They're in a division where the Lions are favorites to take the division yet again, and the Green Bay Packers came out of nowhere are even better. They made those free agency moves even on
defense. But they lost a lot on defense too.
I think what I'm saying is, regardless if you put Caleb Williams or Justin Fields in there, I think it's the same Bears team.
I agree, but then as a GM or as a coach, because there's obviously if they have a sucky year, they're going to be looking for a new coach. As a new coach coming in, who do you want? Do you want 4 more years of Caleb Williams at a reasonable price, or are you going to want to come into a situation where you're automatically having to say, okay, do we give Justin Fields $40-50 million a year? I think that's what it boils down to. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you. I don't think either argument is wrong because, again, these are hypotheticals, and we don't know what Caleb Williams is coming into the NFL, if we're being honest.
Right. But we know what Justin Fields has been. I guess that's my point. You know what I mean? We don't know what Caleb Williams is, but we know what Justin Fields has been. Regardless of coaching, we know what he has been. I'm not saying he can't turn it around, and I hope he does turn it around. I like Justin Fields.
Any last words on the Justin Fields debate? And we're going to move on.
They're going to jump the gun on this one. But who knows?
No, I'm with you. No, I agree with you. The wide receiver position hasn't really been too fancy, but the shock of the week was Calvin Ridley signing with the Tennessee Titans. No.
Yeah,
because the Jaguars are trying to play checkers and wait a couple of days, and Calvin Ridley now, or did he bet on himself to sign with Tennessee, who was plus 2,500 or something like that? And
I think he placed the wager as long as he wasn't inside of his inside the team facility.
I'm a Titans fan, and I didn't see that one coming. And I did not see that one coming.
I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Now, if he had signed with the Titans earlier, would Jacksonville have still owed Atlanta that pick?
Not the second.
They still would have owed them at least the third.
Yeah, they still owe him a pick, but not the second round.
If they would have signed him before free agency kicked off, they would have owed a second round pick. Anytime after free agency kicked off, it was going to be a third rounder. Whether they owe him a third rounder now anyway. Even though he signed with Tennessee. So they were going to owe a pick regardless. It was just a second or a third. And I think that's kind of what got the Jags. You know what I'm saying? They were more worried about keeping that second round pick. So they probably delayed, reaching out, trying to get a contract going. And that allowed Tennessee.
You think the signing of Gabriel Davis to Jacksonville hindered Ridley's thoughts of signing back with Jacksonville?
If Jacksonville still wanted him, I don't know why it would have.
Right.
Because Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, and Calvin Ridley, that's a nice trio.
Yeah.
Well, they still got Zay Jones.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that would have been their top 3.
That would have been their top 3. Zay Jones is like a 4th option, sometimes 5th option.
No, Zay Jones is nice, man.
But he's not
going to be over those 3.
He wouldn't have been in over any of those 3.
And then you got the tight end still, who is
Evan Ingram.
Yeah, Evan Ingram. So
Evan Ingram.
I'm glad it happened. I think we slightly overpaid, but that was going to be the case, with us basically rebuilding. So we were going to have to overpay to get talent there.
Speaking of tight ends, we're expecting for the Giants tight end. I don't want to blank Waller to retire any day now. So that's why they signed 2 backups these last couple of days. They're expecting Waller to call it quits and go on a road for the WNBA upcoming season with his wife and the Las Vegas Aces.
Kelsey Plum.
So
Do it.
Is he? I mean, but hasn't he been going back and forth on whether he was going to do it or not anyway, though?
yeah,
Okay.
but there's been more rumblings the last 2 days that the organization has been leaking that he's gone. So that's why.
So the organization don't want him there.
They signed 2 tight ends this past week, and granted, neither one I've heard of. Well, the one from Philly I heard of, but he wasn't a starter. So
Yeah, right. I'm with Mr. O'Brien on that one.
So it hasn't been many news on the wide receiver front. Late last night, Keenan Allen traded to the Bears. Hollywood Brown signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought it was kind of a big move.
Rob's so upset.
That's a good move. I mean, I know
It's a good move.
we joke about Hollywood, but he's a decent receiver. Like he's a Mahomes is gonna make him look good.
Yeah, he is what I thought. He is going to be what I thought Kadarius Toney may have been in that offense. I think he'll be better in that offense.
Man, I told y'all when Kadarius Toney left the Giants that he was going to be a buck. Like when the Giants drafted him, like he's a head piece.
We said that when he got drafted by the Giants.
He may have seen his last days in the NFL.
Over rated is the signing of Samuel to Buffalo.
I didn't know he was still in the league.
How did you not know that?
Yeah, he had a decent.
He had a pretty good year.
He's been in Washington.
Washington was hot on offense at the beginning, then he fell off.
At the beginning of the year, yeah, he was like their number one. He was their de facto number one at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
What?
Because McLaurin started out slow.
Yeah, you're right.
I was starting Samuel in fantasy some weeks.
At the beginning of the year, he was
some weeks I was starting Samuel.
Yeah, he was. I tried to pick him up and I couldn't get him off the waiver wire at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
you can get him.
Either way.
Devontae Parker to the Eagles, over or underrated?
I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Over.
Now, I obviously knew he was in the league, but
He's overrated.
That one might be overrated.
I don't see him moving the needle much.
Darnell Mooney
Not at all.
to the Falcons.
I like it.
Underrated.
I like it a
It's
lot.
an underrated move.
He gives them that over the top threat, that deep threat. He gives them that deep threat.
And not Ray McLeod that they signed.
Ray McLeod is there for punt return, kick return.
McLeod got some speed, but he got to get on the field on the offense.
Because Rondale Moore is going to be in over McLeod.
You know what I'm saying? When he do, he got to keep the ball in his hand.
It'll be Drake London, Mooney, and Rondale Moore.
Right. Yeah. Ray McLeod dropping the ball too. So.
I didn't realize
that Atlanta's going to love the most. That Rondale Moore move. That bringing in Rondale Moore. That is.
Oh yeah.
That
was surprising to me. Like.
Yeah, I don't understand what the Cardinals were thinking.
They actually got a blocking tight end too from the 49ers and Charlie Warner. The Falcons did. So look,
never heard of him.
We don't know them.
Never heard of him.
He's a good blocking tight end. So when you need your end sprung,
he wasn't an offensive line who checked in like every now and again?
No, he was Kittle backup.
Question to the panel: does Minnesota Vikings move Justin Jefferson?
I don't think they want to, but I think Justin go force his way out of there.
He's gonna pressure them into it,
especially if they go into the season with what you call it.
Huh?
Especially if they go into the season with Sam Darnold as their QB1.
Right. Is their QB1? Yeah, I don't see, he's already turned down or allegedly rumored that he already turned down what $30 million a year contract.
30 million, which is I don't think that can't be true, right? That's what he was asking for, and all of a sudden he doesn't want it. That don't make sense.
Yeah, and I don't see him going to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati would have pulled off that trade. My goodness.
So really quick, we got to move on with time. We still got some a lot of available free agent wide receivers. With Michael Gallup getting cut today by the Dallas Cowboys. Add him on the list with Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow, Odell, Tyler Boyd, Michael Thomas, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, DJ Chark, McCole Harmon, Paris Campbell, Josh Reynolds. Yeah. Van Jefferson side today with Pittsburgh. So which one of those should be next? Which one of those would be a good fit and where?
A lot of those are gonna be training camp signings. They go be if we draft through our receiver, or we have a glaring need after training camp, or if the people start getting hurt, that's when we go bring people in. That's what happened to Odell every year. Basically, they bring him in after training camp. So a lot of those guys that's what they go be one of those type of hits
after the June 1st cut.
Let me hear those top five again.
Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow, Odell, Gallup, Tyler Boyd, and Michael Thomas.
I can see
if he can
Hunter
stay
Renfrow
healthy, if he can stay healthy, and that's a big if because he hasn't proven that yet. Mike Williams can be a monster for somebody if he can stay healthy. Yes,
If
the
he can
Chargers.
stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, yeah, and that's a big if with him.
right.
But he can be a monster for somebody.
What?
I
really
don't know.
What if because Pittsburgh is still light on the receiver side?
Yeah.
What if they wouldn't got?
I'm not understanding
on another quarterback.
Deontay Johnson. I thought Pickens was the headache. I don't know what happened there.
I think I don't understand.
You bring in a mobile quarterback whose turnovers are going down, and then you get rid of wide receivers. And he was their number one wide receiver these last few years. I'm not understanding.
But if you notice, and you know, fantasy wise is how I noticed, his numbers started to dip. I think maybe that was because of the quarterback play. I'm not saying but you know, his first year he was there with Big Ben, and then Kenny Pickett came in, and his numbers went down.
Well, I know I'm agreeing with you since you mentioned the fantasy for the Broncos. Cortland Sutton had a great season, and you know Jerry Jeudy had not a great season.
Jerry Jeudy didn't have too good of a season because I had him for fantasy, and you know I had to leave him on the bench.
And he get traded too.
He got traded to Cleveland.
He went to Cleveland, which we didn't even talk about that. That was a good pickup for Cleveland. I like that move for Cleveland.
It is.
You know, I like that Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, he can sit down and be a number two. He can sit down and be a number two and be calm while everybody's still looking at
Amari Cooper.
Right.
You got two route running monsters on the same team.
Of course, he's going to say that. They're both Alabama.
You mad at me? You mad at me because I came from Alabama? That's what we doing? You mad at me?
How long until Jameis Winston get the start though?
He started the season probably.
As soon as Deshaun Watson decide that he needs a massage,
That's
Wings
exactly what I was about to say. He probably started the season. What are you talking about? But I mean, that's another one because you got to remember Cleveland. They didn't have Nick Chubb this year because he got hurt as soon as the season started, and you got a healthy Chubb coming back who's probably going to be on a tear. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think
sure
Chubb is going to really be ready to go. And excuse the word tear. I'm sorry. I know that's a terrible pun. My bad. But I think he's going to be.
We all know that Watson needs a healthy Chubb.
Say Watson need a healthy Chubb.
He said he need a healthy Chubb. You stupid.
You stupid.
Now, let's come back on camera for that one. Before we move on, we're getting a little rock-winded, a little long on the tooth here for free agency. Really quickly, defensive side of the ball, which signing stood out to you guys? And I'll throw a couple of names out there.
The Houston Texans.
Okay, we'll go there.
The whole Houston Texans, everything that they did, they play in Madden over there. I don't know what's happening.
And look, they playing Madden at Madden expert level 20.
That I looked at that defense the other day, and goodness, it's going to be a complete issue, a complete and utter issue.
Yeah, their front office is not messing around. Period.
Ain't doing nothing but setting D'Amico Ryans up for ultimate success, and it's got your boy Fleck, DeAndre, talking about he won't go back. He won't go back home. Yeah.
Well, after next year he can go, but this year he gonna play his butt in Nashville.
So you gonna stay your behind right where you at, and you gonna like it.
Right here, pay this contract out, sir. But yeah,
man, Mr. O'Brien, I'm hungry.
Who was it? Who was it? The big splash in Houston, the defensive lineman. I can't think of his name.
Danielle
Your
Hunter.
boy.
Yeah, Hunter.
Danielle
Hunter.
It was Hunter, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Danielle Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, Hunter. You talk. Eric Armstead went to Jacksonville. But yeah, Hunter. That was that's
somewhere in the AFC South.
And he said he went there specifically to play with the now second year player down there who was killing it. What?
Who? Will Anderson?
Yeah, Will Anderson. I was looking at something. My bad. Somebody.
They really maximized their draft because they got a 4th or 5th round. Picked up a linebacker, and then the linebacker ends up being the starter and gets 130 tackles before he gets hurt. That's why I was like, they are so ahead of the curve right now. It's not even funny anymore. And then you add Joe Mixon to that, Danielle Hunter,
and they gave him an extension.
And
3 years, $27 million.
Yeah, 3 years.
And so now you've upgraded the run game while you kept Pierce back there to support him, and you bring back Tank. You bring in Nico. You bring in Schultz back. They're disgusting.
Well, that was the All Sports Matters breakdown of the free agency week, which was crazy. It was a crazy week in free agency. It's not even over. It's far from over. We're still expecting some trades.
And I'm sure something fell through the cracks. I'm sure we skipped something.
But we're going to move on. Obviously, the NBA season is the playoffs should be starting here in a few weeks.
Well, there's one team already in the playoffs.
And one team eliminated. What's your point? Either way, so 2 weeks ago when we discussed the standings for the NBA, we said the Knicks and the 76ers, one or both might fall out of the top 6. And right now it seems like Philadelphia is falling fast.
Free fall.
Yeah.
They're missing.
They're 10 games ahead of Brooklyn. So like Flex said, they won't fall out of the top 10, but where do you see them falling to?
The Sixers? Well, right now they 7. So if they don't fall out the top 10, they can't fall no further than they really at right now.
I think 8 or 9. I don't think they get to 10. I think 8 or 9 is they're, like you said, they're 7 down. They're a half game back of 2 games back of 5. So
and a half game up.
I guess it depends on when Embiid comes back and how effective he is when he comes back. Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he comes
and how
back,
effective he is when he comes back.
Is he coming back?
He's
supposed to be back. They're only a half game up on Miami for 8th.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's
up on Chicago. So I think that's 7, 8, 9. They'll fall in between 7, 8, and 9. They'll be somewhere in there.
Isn't LaMelo coming back?
LaMelo back already.
He's back, right? LaMelo back, right? He came back already, or is he just in basketball activities right now?
Why are we talking about LaMelo?
The only reason why I'm bringing
Charlotte
him up
ain't
is
doing nothing.
not LaMelo. What's the other one? The one that stays hurt for 2-3 years. The other
He got cleared for
It's two of the ball.
basketball. Yeah,
The one that just got cleared for basketball activities in Chicago.
the older brother.
Used to play for
Rosen?
the Lakers.
Oh, Lonzo.
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 I'm like, wait a minute, who are we talking about?
And he's a ball guy. He's a ball. But in it,
Yeah,
the reason why I'm
Lonzo.
saying it is he back here for Chicago?
No.
Because
He just
No, he's
cleared
not
for
playing. He's been
just
cleared
cleared for
for
basketball
full actual game,
Yeah.
but he has not back
Okay.
yet.
okay,
And
because
if
he
I'm
would be
Chicago, I probably want
another
to put him
weapon.
in there for next year.
Yeah,
I
he would be
mean,
another weapon that Chicago could add into their fold to kind of help their push. Because I'm wondering if Chicago and Miami are going to make a push.
He ain't played in 2 years. Hell, he might as well just go ahead and keep resting them legs. He ain't done nothing.
But
I
on the
think
flip
that
side, on the flip side,
up in 8.
Ben Simmons is the one that gets all the flack for not playing, but yet here Ball has been stealing money for the last few years.
Because Ben
You know
Simmons
what
is trash. Ben Simmons is trash. That's why he gets all the vitriol.
He got a made up reason for not playing.
If you're
My
in
back
that, I mean, I know we're talking basketball and standings here. If you're in that West, do you want one of those top seeds? Because one of those top
No.
seeds can mean that you're playing a Golden State or the Lakers.
If I,
I
if I'm
think-
Denver,
You know what I mean? Like,
I think the
you want one
only
of those
team
top seeds?
that would want
Play one of those three
I
in a
think the only
7-game
team that
series.
would want a top seed in the West would probably be
It's
Denver.
Denver is not sweating anybody.
Yeah, Denver
Right,
don't care
right.
who you are.
Denver's not. And
Denver
I'm
ain't
saying
sweating nobody.
if you're OKC or Minnesota or hell, even the Clippers,
If I'm
do you want to
Minnesota,
see
I'll
one of
wear
those
it.
other teams in a 7-game series?
Not having
I
Carl
would
Anthony
guarantee you
Towns.
not the Clippers because the Clippers can't stay healthy. The
They've been
Clippers,
getting it together though. I like that Clippers team.
why it just got hurt?
Yeah,
the
but
other
do you
day.
want to see Phoenix or the Warriors in a 7-game series?
Let me tell you something. You don't want to see the Warriors in the playoffs, period. Only team that would probably want to see the Warriors are the Kings. The Kings don't care nothing about the Warriors no more. The Kings would like
Denver
to
don't
beat the
either.
brakes off them.
The Nuggets
They
don't
would
care
like
about
to-
nobody.
Yeah, the Kings.
I love the way
Sacramento
they play
Kings-
ball. They don't care. They gonna go out and play you no matter who you are.
Sacramento Kings look so devastating right now.
But the Warriors
Those
beat
are the
those
two
Kings
teams I
last
wouldn't
year.
want
The
to play
first
right
round.
now. Denver and Sacramento.
Yeah, but they took them to the limit though.
Yeah.
They took the Warriors to the limit.
But imagine this play-in tournament: Phoenix, Dallas, Lakers, Warriors.
That's what I'm saying. Do you
That's
want to
just-
play those teams outside of Dallas, which you know what I'm saying, for reasons that I won't talk about, I'm not gonna talk about. Outside of Dallas, do you want to play one of those other three teams in the playoffs?
Nah, I think nobody's beating Denver.
Yeah.
Denver will represent. I believe Denver will represent the West. The East, it goes through Boston, but we all know Miami. They play Miami in the second round. It might be tough, and Milwaukee's finally getting it together. So that's going to be a tough
Yeah,
series.
I have no faith in Doc though. He'll find a way to screw it up.
Spoken like a true Celtics fan.
Well, and I'm the only thing
Am I
I
lying?
would say that's different about Boston.
Am I lying though?
No.
Not at all. That's how Doc talk.
Now, the one thing I will say about Boston this year, if y'all can have a healthy Porzingis in the playoffs, I would like to see that.
This is
And
the
I
healthiest
think
he's been in for forever.
Right, and they're doing a good job of load management with him
Yep.
because he's not needed every night right
Right.
now.
Right.
Well, you know, we've seen players who gets injured on bad teams, and we know they're healthy. They just don't want to play for that bad team. We know
Right.
Porzingis didn't want to dress for the Knicks when they were bad. They didn't want to dress, especially Washington these last
Right.
2 years. He didn't want to,
Right.
but now he's like, I got a good squad. My knee hurts just a little bit, but it's playable. I'm gonna
Right.
play one
Yeah.
game off, one game on, so you can save those legs for the playoffs.
And exactly, Missoula's doing a good job of like I said, load management disguised as him being hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know for a fact that there was a couple of games where they said he was hurt, where he came back the next night and dropped 40.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're not hurt. Stop it.
Mhm.
Well, that should be intriguing.
I love the defensive identity that Drew Holiday then gave the Celtics right now.
Yeah.
I love he got in there and gave.
He came in and took that Marcus Smart role. I mean, that's exactly.
He's not annoying. He doesn't flop.
Defensively, he came in and took that Marcus Smart role where Marcus Smart was guarding anywhere from the 1 to the 4. Drew Holiday's doing basically the same thing without the theatrics.
One thing I will say, that move, that picking up Drew Holiday was an incredibly good one because
they had
he's a winner.
It was a we had to do that type move. You know what I mean? Because you got rid of your heart and soul in Marcus Smart, which, you know, or for worse, I didn't like it at the time. I wanted KP, but not at the expense of Marcus Smart. But it worked out.
I did a minor flub. There's 2 teams been eliminated from the playoff contention: the Wizards and what are you pointing at the Atlanta hat for? We're talking about San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I'm pointing at me.
Like,
it's Spurs.
Yeah,
it's
Spurs are
the Spurs.
The probable rookie of the year who got mashed on the other night.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. That's what happened. Like,
you're gonna get mashed on.
It's basketball. It's gonna happen. Yeah,
it's basketball. So you're gonna get mashed on.
It still happens to Rudy Gobert, but he still won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Shaq does not like that boy.
No,
does not. He hates his guts.
he
went in on Rudy Gobert on this podcast.
Hates him so much.
To pivot really quickly, we got a few minutes before we bid adieu. Baseball season starts on the 20th, I believe. Washington. LA Dodgers play the San Diego Padres in South Korea to play a back-to-back 2 games regular season.
Padres traded for Dylan Cease this week. Padres traded for Dylan Cease this week.
Dylan Cease, yes. I wanted to focus really quickly on the early demise of the Dodgers. They done paid $300 and something million to Yamamoto for his spring training ERA be 8.86.
Spring training.
Yeah, he can't pitch against rookies. Yeah.
No matter. He's living in Japan still. He's still looking for a house.
He's on Japan time.
Yeah. He ain't too worried. We ain't worried about it. Yamamoto. He got his money out.
Ohtani's fine. Ohtani got married. They finally revealed who his wife is.
Revealed who his wife was? Yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
It wasn't EO Sky like I wanted.
No.
They would have made such a beautiful super baby.
But the team that should be worried is the Yankees. News came out this week. It's not as bad as originally. So thankfully for that, Garrett Cole will be shut down for at least a month. No structure damage, which is the biggest deal there. But also Aaron Judge got shut down doing an abductor strain, so he's going to be out a few weeks as well. So a lot of injury, and the Yankees has always been known for injury. That's one thing I don't understand why their training staff has been there, ain't been changed out. A lot of y'all want new coaches, new general managers, new pitchers. I want a new training staff. I've been calling for that. The old man, I think it's Brian Callahan, I think his name. I'm calling you out, sir. It's time for you to hang up your kinesiology tape.
You need to hang it up. Tell Aaron Judge to call Christian McCaffrey because
I don't know what the hell is going on over there in New York. But either way, we were expecting. We'll probably break down the MLB season next Friday on the show. Mike Tyson signed on to fight Jake Paul.
I'm still looking up these rules.
We got to talk.
Did you see Logan Paul said? He wanted to fight me, but I think he's too old. I hope he knocked Jake Paul's head off.
I'm just saying.
I hate them Paul brothers, man.
I don't know.
I just don't like it.
Is it going to be Tyson on meds or Tyson off meds? I want him to be off his meds. If he's off his meds, I'm watching. I want to see it. Because he's going to lose his.
All I know that Tyson will be gassed out. All the training he's doing fast-paced training. But we know boxing 3 minutes is not what that is. You know, so it's
Tyson ain't never been an endurance fighter, even in his heyday.
He wanted
He's
to
never been an
over.
endurance fighter.
But I'm
Yeah,
pretty
he
sure
has.
How many of his
there's
matches
somewhere
last
in that
past
contract
the
that says
second
Jake
round?
Paul cannot go down.
But the thing is, how many rounds? They're supposed to be doing a full 12, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
How many 12-round fights has it been with Paul anyway?
How many 12-round fights has it been with Tyson? Tyson ain't he's not an
Tyson
endurance
ain't gonna
fighter
fight no
anyway.
12 rounds. And twice Tyson knows that. He
Well,
knows
Paul.
need endurance either. Neither one of them are endurance fighters.
Paul claiming he gonna knock Tyson out. So
Yeah,
say that he wasn't an endurance fighter.
And I claim to not be fat, but I am. So what?
But we're all going to be watching.
it's free on Netflix. So
It's not necessarily free. It's what we, pay monthly subscription for.
Pay for already.
that boy is free for me. With it being on Netflix, they go wanted to go the full 12. So I'm sure they go put some rules in place.
If they were smart, they'll stack up that card.
Yeah, and they go put something in place to tell Tyson you can't knock him out in the first or second round. You need to let it go at least 8.
Did y'all watch that Tyson Roy Jones 8-round exhibition?
Debacle?
Yeah, he was. They both was gassed.
No, they almost died on national TV. I'm not watching it.
Gentlemen, I think that's everything. Big Rob, what you got for us?
No.
Big Rob, you got something? If you don't, I got it.
Look, before we bounce out of here, we can't not recognize the greatness of South Carolina women. It's Women's History Month, so we definitely got to make sure we highlight the incredible season that the South Carolina women had already, as well as that incredible game they had against LSU. Even though it ended in complete chaos, but it was still a good game. They played a great one, as usual. So hats off to Dawn Staley and her staff. And of course, my trivia this month is highlighting also Women's History Month. We're going to talk about somebody who is a trailblazer and a pioneer, but she's also just straight up a legend. She deserves a category of greatness all to herself. She was one of the first to ever win 39 Grand Slam championships. Then she turned around and she competed in the very first Battle of the Sexes, and she dominated.
Billie Jean King?
Anybody got a guess?
Billie Jean King.
You got to say it. There it is. Billie Jean King, the legend.
They got a whole movie about it.
So we salute you.
Rob, you're slipping.
Huh?
You're slipping.
That was
Because we
easy.
knew what it was.
That was easy.
That was easy.
No,
normally you make a
you
scene.
can't go full speed. You gotta start off slow. You gotta gradually bring them in this month. You can't just throw the heat at them off the top.
But real quickly before you close it out,
go ahead and throw her name out there.
You make me not even want to give you the one that I had, Rob.
hold on. We're gonna get to that one, but let's go back to what Rob said. That game, LSU, South Carolina. I got 2 points to make. Is the season marred if they don't close it out? South Carolina, if they don't win the championship, is all this hype for them to go 39-0, and then all of a sudden?
I don't know if it's marred, but I know Bella came.
Marred. No.
I wouldn't say marred. I'd just say it's
They got a lot of flack. They got a lot of flack last season when they lost to Caitlin Clark in Iowa.
I mean, it's
There's a lot of people that lost to
anything that
Caitlin
happened
Clark.
marred. Yeah.
And my second point, did y'all see the interview after of LSU coach saying what if she would have pushed Angel Reese instead of is that a right thing for a coach to say?
So what was she saying? Like
she
said she would
would have happened that way?
She was Cardozo would have ran up
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese instead. And I'm like,
you don't put no tiny person like that.
I'm like, come on, man. Stop.
But on the flip side, Dawn Staley apologized and went about it the right way.
Right. She was like, I'm sorry
to the crowd and to ESPN, but LSU coach did not.
No.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of crazy. JB, what you got for us?
I definitely respect Dawn Staley for that. Rob, I'm I'm gonna ask the rest of y'all too, but it's mostly for Rob because he always asks trivia. I figured I'd pick up a trivia one today. There, in the history of the NFL, there have been 3 teams to never have the number 1 overall pick. What 3 teams? Never had.
No.
Seattle.
And it's for everybody in the interweb land too.
I'm gonna go with Seattle, Pittsburgh.
I was gonna say Pittsburgh. That Seattle one is
Yeah,
a good
that
one
was
too.
one.
Huh.
Buffalo.
You got one with Seattle.
Buffalo.
San Fran.
No, San Fran had they picked Alex Smith with number 1 at one
Oh yeah,
point.
that's right. They did pick Alex Smith. And it's not Buffalo.
Oh, you said no to Buffalo? Who did Buffalo have?
No
number
to
Buffalo.
Miami.
They didn't they get OJ Simpson with the number 1 pick one time?
Miami. That's
Nope.
Buffalo.
Nope, not Miami.
Yeah, Buffalo got picked OJ Simpson first overall. Hey, I got
That's cool.
Seattle. You guys figure out the rest.
Seattle is 1. Y'all ready for the other 2?
Kansas
Nope,
City.
not Kansas City.
The Rams.
Not the Rams.
No, the Rams got Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Jared Goff. You got
Tampa.
tell me when you ready. Huh?
Jets.
Nope, not the
I said
Jets.
Tampa.
All right. I'm
Not
done.
Tampa.
I'm
Oh,
done.
Rob's Ravens.
The Ravens. You Googled
Oh,
it.
that's
They
good.
never had
Oh,
number
yeah,
one
that's
pick.
right. No, that's right. We never had a number 1 pick. That's right. We haven't.
I didn't Google anything. I'm on FaceTime.
Yeah, I know.
Tennessee.
No, you said Kansas City. Nope.
Tennessee.
No, I said
Ravens the number 1
Broncos.
pick.
The Broncos are the
The
3rd team.
Broncos.
Ravens, the Broncos, and the Seahawks. The 3 teams that never have the number 1 overall pick.
Wow, that's interesting.
This boy said I Googled.
He said I do.
You was
Like,
looking
you
down,
got-
you looked up.
Fleck, you got anything for us as we head out?
No, sir. Just nope. No. I have nothing this week.
All right, JB, take us home.
Well, y'all know what we say. Some people like football, basketball, and baseball, while others like hockey, soccer, and NASCAR. But here, all sports matter.
I'm the pioneer champ of San Antonio.